Hope you're doing well. Excuse me, the residual effects of the COVID that I had last week. Um, I want you to just take a moment and think. This year I took a packet of wildflower seeds, which are very small, and I just threw them into a portion of my garden it was just plain. So I just kind of tilled the soil and I threw it in there and kind of covered it up a little bit. And what happened is that I have this incredible uh, area where there's no order to it. Looking at it, you would think this is just a total sense of chaos. And but out of the midst of that came the most beautiful flowers. I more beautiful in many ways in terms of the colors and various aspects of it than the flowers that you would buy in at a garden shop. It's just really something. I should take a picture. I could show you my softer side uh, that is into this kind of stuff. Not to mention the fact that my tomatoes, my green beans, I've got a great thing of kale this year. It's not a lot of plants. I've even got broccoli growing. It's a green thumb year. But the point is this: you couldn't have looked at that patch of plants that were growing up and thought that there was going to be anything good that came out of it. It just looked like a bunch of weeds. And you couldn't look at it now and think that there's any order to it. It just is just a group of plants growing up, some taller than others, some much, bigger than others, and yet in the midst of this, the beautiful blooms and just colors, and I mean, just incredible. And it kind of showed me something. We have a tendency to look at things in our world, and rightfully so. We want order around us. We want to have some semblance of not control, perhaps, but just a sense of understanding as to what is happening, what's going to happen next. But we often forget that we're fighting in a conflict here. We talked about this in Ephesians 6 and verse 10 and on. We wrestle against principalities and powers and might and dominion. The forces of the unseen world, spiritual wickedness in high places, the cosmic creator of this earth. There in verse 10 through 12. In the midst of that, there's a lot of things that happen that are way beyond our control, that we can't even understand or see. We can't look into or peer into the immaterial world. But they're happening. But I just want you to realize something. I just stupid little me. That little patch of ground about 6 feet by 6 feet really taught me something. That what appears to be just totally a mess could end up being pretty beautiful. Some great things can come out of what the world sees as a mess. God brings beauty. God does what others wouldn't think would happen. I guess one of the best examples of this, there are two that stand out. The first one is David in 1 Samuel chapter 16, when he and his brothers were being called. Samuel kept calling them out one by one, and he would look at them and they would appear to be the one that, and God says, look, it's not how he appears. It has nothing to do with any of these things that you're placing emphasis on. We did all that with Saul. You chose the one that was head and shoulders above, and he was the outstanding person, and that certainly didn't work out. It's not about appearance, it's about character. I look at the heart in verse 7 there, 1 Samuel 16. And here comes this kid, and it says that he was kind of ruddy, meaning he lived out with the sheep. He was, unkempt, not necessarily. He was a nice looking young man, but nothing that would stand out and you'd say, this is the one. And God said, that is the one. This is the one. Because God looks at the heart, doesn't look at outward appearance. Jesus searches the heart in Revelation 2:23. Throughout history and reading our Bibles, haven't we seen so many times that God chooses the least likely? And that's an incredibly important aspect. The next example will be one that everybody knows. In Isaiah 53, when we speak of the Lord, he grew up as a root in dry ground. No one would have looked at him and said, this is the guy. In the circumstance that he came from, Nazareth, and seemingly an illegitimate birth by any, if we were just walking by sight and just the mere gossip that would have surrounded that. And yet, such beauty that came out of what appeared to be totally chaotic. Only God can do this. And he can do that in your life and mine. And I don't know about you, but that kind of gives me hope. This is why I think when the Word of God speaks, what is in Romans 1:17, that speaking of Abraham, that he believed that God could call those things that are not and say they are. Don't let the world and sight and circumstance dictate your faith. We don't walk by sight. We walk by faith. In 2 Corinthians 5:6. Great place to be, especially in these days. Till next time, friends, God.